guys, what's up? It's me, Bitchin' Whispers. I am getting comfortable by laying down in my bed, and I was about to go to sleep after doing a Whisper Library vlog story, which ended up being a long one because I started getting sleepy. And then I also did another vlog that is going to be a surprise for this channel. So it was a request really, and I've never done this recent vlog that I've done. I've never done it before, and I've done some research on it as to how to do it. I've talked to other whisperers who've done it on their channel, and I got a lot of good positive feedback about how to do it and everything. So I did it, and it's once I put it all together, I should have it posted by hopefully by the end of this week. So I hope it works out. I hope you listeners listen to it, like it. If not, I can't say I didn't do it. So. But anyway, I'm so sleepy. I'll have to be at work tomorrow. Oh gosh, I didn't turn off Dolce's little light in her tank, so she's swimming around and blowing bubbles at me to turn it off. Alright, bitch, I'm gonna get up in a minute and do it. But right now, I just need to relax for a minute. For some strange reason, my back is like killing me. I think it was the way I was laying. As I did the two vlog, the story vlog and the surprise vlog. I think I was kind of like sitting the wrong way. Stretched out the wrong legs. Now it's like it hurts bad. But anyway, I said I was gonna tell you guys about my job and what all is going on. Well, I'm no longer working at the pastry store. Now, before you guys say anything, I did not get fired. I simply quit. And I quit in a professional way by giving it my 2-week notice. So, I handled that very smoothly and professionally. So, I did not get fired. I gave it my 2-week notice. That was yawning again. The reason why I did that was because it wasn't the job itself. I mean, I put up with it for like a year and 3.5, 4 months. It was an easy job to do. It wasn't hard. It was, could do it. If I could do it there, I could do it anywhere else. Just put it like that. It's very easy to do. It's pretty cool. Pay was okay. Hours were awesome. It was technically the staff and how it it was how the management was. It was very unprofessional. And it wasn't that I didn't want to stay. I didn't want to go either, but let me put it to you guys in another way. You ever like, I don't know if anybody's ever dealt with this, but I went through this thing. I began to notice that when I entered that job, I had a high, educational IQ. a better way of saying it. I mean, I noticed my attitude was different. I noticed that certain things about me started to change, and I didn't like that. And I realized that it wasn't my persona, it was my environment that I was around. And I was figuring out, where am I getting this from? And there was only one place I was getting from, and it was my work. And I didn't like that. So I took it upon myself to apply. Well, actually, this is the funny thing about it. A manager from another store, a clothing store to be exact, came in and saw me. I was like cleaning up the cafe or the condiment bar and everything. The lobby, let's put it like that, the lobby. And she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, we're in position. We have an open position for assistant manager." And she reaches in her briefcase and she pulls out the application and the brochure about the position, what's to be expected, so on and so forth. And she said, "I've been watching you for a year. I've been watching you since you've been working here. You're different from all the rest." She's like, "I really want you to come into my store and work for me." And I'm like, "Oh snap, that's what's up. It's cool." And I was like, "Assistant manager, are you serious?" And I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, despite the fact that I'm feeling like I'm acting like a ratchet bitch and being all ghetto and everything, this woman, this manager saw me still in a professional mode that I came in this store being. So, you know, I filled out the application. I'm not even gonna lie. I had my doubts because I didn't think I was gonna get the job. I, I really didn't think I was gonna get the job, guys, for real. I mean, I filled out the application. I did the resume. I did it all nice and professional, and it looked immaculate. It was beautiful. I was impressed with myself. And I didn't turn it in. And I didn't turn it in. And I didn't turn it in. And I was like, you know what? I'm, you know, I waited 3 days and didn't turn it in. It was almost a week, and I was like, fuck it. Just do it. Just turn it in and see what happens. And I'm just like, I was getting that inner negative feeling, that inner negative voice saying, "Look, you can do it, but you're not gonna get that position. They're not gonna give that to you. Look who you're working with. Look where you're at now. You're gonna be stuck here until till you just pretty much drop dead. You're not gonna get any higher than what you are right now." And then there was another voice inside of me, and they said, "Bitch, if you don't get the hell up out my head and stop feeding me with that negative bullshit, I'm gonna knock your ass out like the Cleveland bus driver. I'm just gonna uppercut your ass one good time." And I thought about that negative voice, and it was what I would hear if I was to say that. If I was to ask any of the co-workers at the pastry shop, "What do you think if I filled out an application for a job for an assistant management position?" I would get that negative voice. "Girl, don't even fill out that application. It ain't even working. You ain't gonna get it. They ain't gonna hire you because your skin tone. Blase, blase." But they was wrong. That voice was totally, totally wrong. I took the application to the store with my resume and everything, and I turned it in. I didn't expect to hear anything. manager over at the pastry shop. She came up to me. She was like, got a call, girl. A reference, job reference for you. I said, job reference, who the fuck call? There was only one place I turned in an application at. She said, yeah, girl. She said, they called me. I gave a good recommendation for you. I told them you're wonderful to work with, which you are. And I like this assistant manager at the pastry shop. She was cool as hell. She may have been a little ghetto vibe, but she had her ghetto moments, but she was cool as hell. She kept it real. And she was like, yeah, girl, you're very cool. I told them that I love working with you. You're very eligible for rehire, blah, 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 blah. But she didn't click that, uh-oh, she done put in an application somewhere else. These people calling it references, recommendations. I gave positive feedback. They might hire her. What else? They didn't click on her. She didn't say nothing about it. I didn't say nothing about it. So, 4 days after that went by, and I get a voicemail on my phone. It was the store, and they had called for me to do an interview. I was nervous as crap. I was like, oh snap, I was like, okay. Then it did a recommendation, they did references, this, that, and other. It checked over everything on my application and my resume, whatever. And I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, that's crazy, that's crazy, that's crazy, that's crazy. And I called them back, told them, yeah, sure. We set up a date, and luckily it was my day off for that date, so I was like, okay, that's pretty cool, that's pretty cool. So I went home, and me, I always plan ahead. That's just how I am. I plan ahead on what I want to look like for like an interview. And an interview at this place was like, yeah, I've got to look very, very, very professional. So um, I picked out my clothes. Now, mind you, I don't have very much fashionable clothes. I only get what I can afford at the time I got money and stuff. And naturally, the clothes I bought came from the store that I'm now working at, which I was doing an interview with. So I was going through the closet, and I'm like, oh God, I have nothing to wear. Because mostly everything I had in my closet was either blue jeans, black pants, khaki pants, white polo shirt, black polo shirt, and t-shirts. And very little nice outfits nice shirts and stuff that I bought from the store that I work for. So I was like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I said, okay, calm down. And I was closed my eyes and I took deep breaths. And I said, okay. Reached in my closet and I pulled out a sweater that I bought from the store. And it was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool sweater. It looks like I have a button-down shirt with a cardigan sweater over top of it. It's pretty cool. And I pulled that shirt out, and I closed my eyes. I said, okay, I got the shirt. I said, alright. I reached in my closet and I pulled out a black pair of pants, which I call my interview pants because I wore those pants when I got the interview at the pastry shop. Sorry guys, I'm over here yawning because I got one eye open. But I just figured those are the pants I'm gonna be wearing from now on for pastry, interviews or important seminars, whatever. So I pulled those pants out and I said, okay, great, I got those. And I remember I had a pair of nice black flexible penny loafer shoes that I had bought from Payless for like $10. Okay, I put that all ensemble together and I looked really cool. I looked very professional. And, I did my hair, I did my makeup. And since I'm a jewelry freak, I had the right earrings and everything. And I was like, okay. I went to the the other person that was coming for the position too. And the manager came out and she was like, "Oh hey, I'm so glad you made it. Blah blah blah. Come on in, let's do an interview." So we sat there and we did the interview, and of course she asked the questions of, what would I do if certain things happened in the store? How would I handle it? How have I handled things such as this in other stores? And, have I had experience for this position and stuff like that, which I have. And she just like asked all these questions. We talked, and it come to find out the funny thing about it, we went through the interview. It was normally an interview is like, I don't know, I guess the interview is like, what, 30 minutes, right? 15, 30 minutes. My interview was an hour and a half. No, I'm sorry, it was an hour and 45 minutes. Like, that's how long my interview with her was. Like, we had just went on and on and on and on and on. And it was like an hour and 45 minutes. And when we were done, I was like, oh snap, like that other lady's out there for her interview. And we've been back here for an hour and 45 minutes going for my interview. And I'm like, oh God, this is crazy. And I'm thinking, is it my fault? That we went over. I was like, did I stutter? Was I ratchet for this stupid ass interview? I was so mad, I was like, oh God, and, I was inside, I was freaking out. I was pulling my hair, screaming, ah, ah, ah. Yeah, I was freaking out like that. Inside, I didn't express it outside, but inside, I was totally freaking out. And it was bad. It was really bad. Inner wise, it was bad, but outer wise, I was positive. I was confident. So I waited, and I didn't hear anything, and I figured, well, I guess I didn't get the position, and I guess, an hour and 45 interview was just that, an hour and 45-minute interview. Just a waste of an hour and 45 minutes. I was like, oh well, at least I got my foot partially through the door. So I felt okay about that, but I was hurt at the same time. Because I realized I'm gonna be stuck at that damn job, the freaking pastry job. I was just like not clear about that, the coffee shop. I just didn't want to be there. And the more I was there, the angrier, the inner side of me, the angrier I was getting. And I was like, this shit sucks. I hate it here. I'm tired of fucking coming to just job and looking at these same butt asshole faces and hearing the same bullshit. Drama, 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 drama. I'm fucking over it. So, I didn't hear anything. And then, October came. October 3rd came. And, I guess to cheer myself up, I decided to go out with the co-workers, and we were going to a nightclub or whatever. And I was like, you know what, I didn't normally go out. I want to see what the nightlife is like around here, so okay, let's go. So I come home, I jump into a shower, I pull out some clothes out of the closet, whatever. So I'm like, alright, it's gonna rain, it's cold as hell, I'm gonna dress warm. So, I did that, and, I, jump out of the shower, and I noticed, my phone is blinking in my bedroom, and it was a voicemail. listened to the voicemail, and first I looked at the caller ID and I didn't recognize the number, but I noticed they left a voicemail message. So I was like, okay, I just listened to the voicemail, and it was the manager from the store, and she was like, if you would, please give me a call back. I really do need to talk to you. And I was like, oh, shit, maybe something on my resume or something, I don't know. So I called over there to the store and she was still there. She was like, oh, thank God you called. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And so she was like, I was wondering. She was like, I know I hadn't had a chance to call, but I've been doing a lot of training. And I was training other girls for other stores and stuff. She said, I finally got back to my store. And I was wondering if you were still interested in the position. And I was like, oh, inside, I'm like, say yes, say fucking yes. And I said, sure, of course. And she said, well, congratulations. I'm giving you the position. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like wrapped up in a towel, still dripping wet from my shower in my bedroom. Thank God the curtains were closed, because when I jumped up, let's just say my towel came off and I was doing a hoochie coochie in my bedroom, butt ass naked. I was like happy as hell. So, it was like a big relief. It came off my chest and everything. Granted, I did cry like a bitch. I started getting teary-eyed and everything. And the manager, she was like, oh, I'm so happy for you, this and that. And so she was like, okay. She told me to come in on the 9th of that day and of that week of October, and, for me to fill out the paperwork, this, that, and other. She's going to tell me more about my position and, my pay, and we was going to get set up in the system and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm writing it all down. Still dripping wet on the paper, so it was so funny. But it was like great. So that night we went to the club and I was celebrating. I was like, dude, I didn't tell them. I was like, dude, I'm saying to myself, I got a job. I'm gonna party with every dude up in this nightclub. I'm gonna get drinks. I might get a little bit drunk tonight, but I'm gonna be better enough that I'm gonna know when I wake up in the morning, I got another damn job. So I danced with like about 25 dudes. Not every dude up in there, but I danced with a good majority of them. I got a little bit buzzed. I had a couple of drinks. The next day I was late for work. So it didn't matter because, I was with the assistant manager. She like texted me. She was like, where you at? I was like, dude, I'm just now getting up. And she's all like, what? She's like, you're supposed to be here at 7. I was like, now, I know you saw me drunk, right? So she was all like, okay. So, she was like, just get here. I got this. I can take care of this, whatever. Nobody came up in the dang on store. No way. It was okay. They didn't come up in the store until I came up in there, which I came in there at 9 and I was supposed to be at work at 7. It was crazy. So, we handled that smoothly. And, everything turned out okay. I went there with a hangover and, but I was okay, because I had that thought in my head, I got a new job, I got a new job, I got a new job, I'm almost out of here, I'm almost out of here, I'm almost out of here. I was happy. So, it was great. I loved it. And, I took care of business. The 9th came, I went up there, filled out my paperwork and everything. And, me and the manager sat down and we talked about oh, by the way, I'm an assistant manager. So, I'm happy about that. So, there's the full-time assistant manager, I'm the part-time assistant manager, so it's cool. So, it's still cool because I'm getting paid also getting benefits, better benefits than when I was at the coffee shop. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. You know, I can wear different clothing other than the usual black pants, khaki pants, white polo shirt, black polo shirt, blase, uniforms. I can wear fashionable clothes rather than uniforms. Let's put it like that. So I was happy about that. Um, but after I did the paperwork and everything, we was talking about what I was gonna do between working with them and working at the coffee shop, and I was like, well, they're gonna have to work around my schedule because your schedule, now you guys are a higher priority because I'm the assistant manager here, and I'm gonna have to take my responsibilities at the store. So they was like, exactly. I was like, okay. So I was like, well, we're just gonna have to work some kind of way around my schedule between them and y'all. So they was like, okay. Well, long story short, the coffee shop didn't want to work with my schedule from the clothing store. They didn't want to do it at first. This is the funny thing. They didn't want to do it at first. So I said, well, I gotta give you guys my 2 weeks notice. So the manager was like, at the coffee shop, she was like, okay, this happened on a Friday. It was like I was working between them and the store. I was doing it. It was going fine at first. But then the coffee shop wanted to get greedy and they wanted me to work more hours there and work less hours at the, the clothing store. And the clothing store was giving me more hours. And you sit there and do the math, guys. You get more money. You're getting more pay than what you're getting from the coffee shop. Plus, you get more hours. More hours plus pay that you get from the clothing store gives you more money than what you're getting. Yeah, okay. You feel me? Alright. So I was like, I'm gonna have to give my 2 weeks notice. So the manager was like, at the coffee shop, she was like, you know what? Let's wait until Sunday. I'm gonna give you till Sunday to, make a decision. Just don't rush into this decision. I want you to wait till Sunday. So I said, okay, So it was getting worse because Thursday, drama happened. Friday, more drama happened. Saturday, super duper duper drama happened. And then Sunday, she turns around, the manager at the coffee shop turns around, looks at me all ghetto. She was like, so you make your decision yet? When she said that shit to me in that tone, in that grammatical language, honey, I was like, if you don't get the fuck up, it just hit me in my head. If you don't get the fuck up out of there and go upstairs. I mean, go upstairs. Yeah, I'm looking up. I'm sitting high looking up. And go to that clothing store. You're gonna be stuck and talking like her. If you stay here, you're an idiot. So I said, yeah. She was like, what's your decision? I said, I had my I had already typed up my 2 weeks notice. Um, I typed it up and I handed it to her. Right then and there, I had it in my pocket in an envelope. I was debating like I was with that application. I was freaking debating, and I pulled it out and I just handed it to her in front of customers, in front of staff workers that were there, because the way she asked me in front of customers and in front of staff. So I gave her my answer in front of customers and in front of staff. And the customers that were there were regular customers. They were in shock, but they were also happy because I'm the one that got away. And I did it in a professional way that she can't. The manager couldn't sit there and say, well, she did it all like this, she did it all like that. No, bitch. She did it to where she could come back to any of these other franchise and work for the same company. Yeah, because it's a company for the same coffee shop. But it doesn't mean she has to work underneath you. She could work underneath another coffee shop. She could do it. And you can't say nothing about it because she did it professionally. She gave her 2 weeks notice. That's it. You can't do nothing about that. So, um, she took the envelope and she just went on in the back, whatever. And throughout the whole 2 weeks, I worked between her and the clothing store. And, my 2 weeks was up, which ended on a Sunday. I ended up not going to the coffee shop. I ended up going to work at the clothing store. I had to open up the store, so yeah. I had to open up the store to handle paperwork and everything. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go do that. So I did that, and I've been there for about a month now at the clothing store. I love it. It's awesome. I still, I feel my professionalism coming back. My authoritarianism coming back. My know-how is coming back. Um, I don't have attitude with customers. I've never had attitude with customers, but like I speak with them in a tone and in a manner that they're shocked. Some customers look at me like, what? You know, she's talking to me so intelligently, so intellectually. It's amazing. I think they have an ASMR moment when I talk to them too. Cause my my first couple weeks there, I was kind of nervous, but I'm starting to pick it up. And I talk to the customers, and it's funny because when I have to take them to the fitting room, and I tell them if they need any help, just give me a call, and I'll go out there and I help them the best I can. And they come, and they'll literally call for me to come to the fitting room and stuff like that. And I'll talk to them, and like, they're standing. If like I had this one customer, I truly do believe she was having a major ASMR moment because we were talking, and I was helping her with her clothes and stuff like that. She was standing in front of the mirror, and I was like, smoothing it out and everything like that. And I was talking to her, and we were talking very, very low tone. And she was like, we were talking, and we were just like soft speaking. And it was like we were mumbling, but we were talking too. She can understand me and I can understand her. And she just got hypnotized. Well, long story short, that woman spent $475 of clothes and accessories, and she got a credit card, and she got a rewards card, and she got 2 gift cards. So I made top ADT. I made top sales per transaction. I made throughout that whole week. I did a $475. I did a $600. I did, my sales and everything was going up. And it's not because I'm pushing it on them. It's because I'm talking them through it. I'm making them see how they look in their clothes and stuff like that, and how they feel, and I'll ask them questions, and I'll use like a tone. It seems to work, but it's kind of like a psychological type thing, so I don't know. But I think that one customer who spent $475, I think she listens to our channels, guys, especially ASMR channels. So she was probably an ASMR or soft speaking listener. So if she's listening to my "You Rock, I Love You, Come Back in the Store Again," not because of the fact that you spent money like that, but because of the fact that it was pretty cool. So, like, some customers talking to them, you know, like that, it kind of works because they listen. And it's like you're speaking specifically to them, and nobody else in the store can hear it but just you and them. And it's cool, they like that. So, you know, some others are kind of like hard of hearing. So you can tell which one to try it on, which one not to try it on. So discounts. um, I've noticed that I've lost some more weight since I've been working, at the coffee shop and over at the clothing store. But I knew that I've lost a lot of weight when the clothes that I had bought are like really baggy on me right now. Like the interview pants I was telling you guys about. They used to fit me like they would fit me like a glove. Now I have to wear a belt, and like the pants leg are just like they flare out like they're palazzo pants. They don't fit me like regular pants. Like they flare out now, so I'm like, my skinny jeans are no longer skinny jeans. They're starting to look baggy now. So it's like I'm losing weight, I think, in my legs and my arms, but my stomach, I think there's like this one spot on my stomach, which is like below my belly button. It's still big, and I think, everywhere else is like I'm losing it everywhere else, but just this one spot, and I'm like, dude, this is freaking weird because I'm losing a lot of weight, and I know I want to go back to North Carolina for New Year's, because, a friend of mine, my best friend, he wants me to come back over there just for New Year's, and then I come back over here to Gotham City, and, I'll be okay, I'll be home, but, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll celebrate New Year's, no problem. So, in the clothing store, I found this dress. I was like doing shipment. This is the funny thing about it. I was doing shipment, and I pulled out this dress. It was beautiful. It's black and it has rhinestones in the middle. It's a strapless dress, and it has like this ruching, and it's really gorgeous. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it on the side. I'm gonna try it on. And later that afternoon, the assistant manager came in, and I was like, okay, it's time for me to take my break. So I went, clocked out, went to go take my break, and I came back and I said, okay, gotta try this dress on. I mean, it might not fit, it might fit. We're gonna see what happens. Let's see what's up. So I go in the fitting room. Sorry guys, I'm yawning again. I go in the fitting room and I'm looking at the dress. Like, it's hung up on a hanger. I'm just looking at it. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay. let me go ahead and try it on. So I take my clothes off and I slip on the dress. And I'm like, okay, it's not gonna go for my butt. My butt's gonna be too big. It's gonna show my gut. I'm gonna be huge. I'm just gonna look like a hideous mess in this thing. I'm gonna look like a monster that Lady Gaga sings about. So I close my eyes and I turn around, face the mirror, and I open my eyes, guys. And oh my God, I looked amazing in this dress. I was in shock. I'm like, that's not me. I don't know who the hell this is an illusionist mirror. That is not my big ass on the other side of that mirror in that dress. That's not me. And I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my God, I've lost so much weight, guys, that I can fit into this little black dress. I'm I'm amazed at myself because I can wear a size. I went from wearing a size in this dress, my arms are gonna look disgusting. Because, truth be told, I have what they call turkey neck arms, like you see them old women, or, anybody for that matter. People who lose a lot of weight, they wave, and the flaps under their arms just like waving first. Well, I got those. And I was like, oh, that's gotta go. So my friend Abby turned around and told me that she would loan me her shake weight. And I'm just gonna, between this month and next month, I'm gonna be shake weighting the fuck out of my arms. So, I'm gonna be using that shake weight to death and get my arms up and going. And get them toned and everything. But long story short, guys, the dress was long enough that it hid my legs just to my knees. And it was nicely cut. It didn't show my gut. It didn't cling to me. Nothing. Like my butt. Oh my god. Okay. I thought I had a big old ass. My butt used to rest on my back. Friends, back in the day when I used to hang out in nightclubs in North Carolina, they used to call me Six Shots. Because you could put 6 shots on my big ass. Straight across. Friend of mine did that shit. Took a picture of it and put it on his goddamn MySpace page. I shit you not. It was funny. So, I was in shock about that. So, the fact that when I had on this black dress, I didn't see that 6 shot ass back there. I saw like a badongadon, but it was like nicely badongadon. I have hips, guys. Like, I have like, this black dress gave me an hour shape body. This dress is in my closet right motherfucking now. And it's ready for me to wear in January, honey. So I have to watch what I eat. I know it's November. I have to watch what I eat. And, whatever I'm doing, I have to keep it up. But I have to watch what I eat so I don't get too big that I won't be able to wear that dress in January. But, I looked amazing in this dress. And I'm like, oh, this is my dress for January. I'm gonna knock them dead in January. So all I gotta do is get, well, of course, I'm getting my hair done. I gotta get some black heels that have like nice rhinestones on them. I gotta get a pair of ultra sheer stockings, pantyhose, preferably the one with the little line that goes down the back. If not, ultra sheer pantyhose work perfectly. And I can get that. And the black heels, get my hair done. As for my nails, I'll get them filled in. But I'm gonna do what I always do to my nails. I don't get it done at the salon. I do it. I'll put the color tip on, like make it look like a French manicure. And what I figure I'll do is, since the dress is black with the rhinestones in the middle, I figure I'll just paint my tips in a black French tip and get some silver glitter, or get some crystal glitter nail polish and put it over top of black, so it gives it like that little rhinestone look. Kind of sort of like, I figured that'd be nice. And I'll make a rhinestone slave bracelet with matching earrings, because I can make jewelry like that. So I'll do that, which hopefully when I get paid, I can start doing that between this month and next month and have it ready. And I'm gonna call a friend of mine that lives in North Carolina and see how much she would charge me to do my hair in the way she has it in a particular picture that she has on her Facebook page. And I know she does her own hair, so I'm wondering how much she almost near an hour. Um, and I was like falling asleep too. So it's funny. Like at 49, almost 50 minutes, almost near an hour talking about this shit. But I have so much to do. But I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna go to bed because I have to get up early in the morning. And it's already 11:44 and I have to get up at like 7. God, so I can be, oh God, I have to get up at 6 so I can catch a 7 o'clock bus and be at work at 8 so I can clock in at 9 and do some shit. So, yeah, let me go ahead and go to bed and I will talk to you guys soon. And I will hopefully be able to try and post those vlogs. I gotta do one more whisper story because the one I did today is still a little bit long, so it'll probably come on this channel along with the surprise vlog and this vlog. So you'll get 3 on that one, and I'm gonna have to do like 3 on the whisper library just so to catch up. So it's crazy. I got so much to do. It's off the chain.